Hello, it's Ruby, and today, as I do every year, I'm going to be responding to assumptions about me. So if you didn't know, this week it is anti-bullying week, and every year for anti-bullying week I will respond to assumptions about me. I know that this is a kind of outdated trend. People seem to like watching these videos, and new assumptions have come in this year than I had the last 2 years. So if they were all the same, I wouldn't film the video, but because they are different, I thought I would actually still film it. The reason I do this video for anti-bullying week is because I truly do believe that any kind of stereotyping, any kind of bullying, any kind of nastiness towards another human being is done on the basis of assumptions. You assume something about them and treat them accordingly. And I think it's through making assumptions about people that we grow to see them as not being people. We construct them into something that we have assumed. I do think assumptions are incredibly dangerous, and sometimes our assumptions might be correct, but oftentimes they will be completely incorrect. And so I try to be so mindful of assumptions that I make. When I make an assumption, I try to identify that. I'm like, I'm making an assumption here, no matter what that might be about. My mum literally tells me all the time, never assume. That's like that's one of the main pieces of advice that she's always given to my sister and me, and I want to echo that here in this video. Don't assume things. Wow, there have been loads. It's only been up for like an hour. I'm also going to pour myself some tea. Oh, I need a tea strainer. This is a jasmine green tea, which is loose leaf, and it's very, very good. It took you a long time to become so confident. So I definitely do think, I think through watching my videos you can tell that I have become more confident over the last 5 years and during my time making YouTube videos. When I started my channel, I was not very confident. I had very low self-esteem actually, because this was at a time that I was being bullied when I started my channel. So yes, I mean, it did take me a long time to get from that place to this place, you know, that's 5 years. As a child, I was never really shy. Like, I was a very confident child up until about the age of 9, and when I look at YouTube and when I look at how it's made me more confident, I think of it as like it's helped me to return to a state that I was in before I was bullied, which I'm really, really grateful to this platform for, and to all of you for providing that space where I was able to regain that confidence. You're sensitive about what others have to say about you. Absolutely. I wish I wasn't so sensitive. I tell myself all the time that it doesn't matter what other people say. This is like something I continuously am telling myself. You know, it doesn't matter what other people think about you. The most important thing is that we act in a way which suits us, and we act in a way that makes us happy. That's really a mindset that I try to live by, but it's actually really hard in practice. And when someone does say something, I find it really hard to not be, you know, personally affected by it. I wish I wasn't so sensitive to it. The danger is that I treat all criticism as constructive criticism. So one thing I was told a lot at school was like that I respond very immediately to criticism. Like, if somebody criticizes something about a piece of work that I've done, I will immediately remedy that. I will make sure that I don't make that mistake again, which is really good when it comes to work, because it means that I improve when I make mistakes. But when it comes to criticism about me personally, it actually can be really damaging, because I take it to heart and I'm like, oh, this is something I need to change, when actually that's not true. And it has taken me a while to get over that mindset. I think I'm in a much better space about it now, but for a time that was something I was unduly and problematically affected by. You are really organised. I think I'm organised. I probably am not as organised as I seem in my videos though. I think you'd assume that I am extremely, extremely organised, but there are definitely times when I've missed stuff on things and haven't been as organised as I should have been. You get stressed out / anxious when you don't keep to your time schedule. Yes, I do. But not so much as I used to. You've worn glasses from a young age. Yes, I have. I started wearing glasses when I was 7, but they were just reading glasses. Like, I didn't have to wear them that much. My prescription was like fine. Okay, oh my gosh, I was such a drama queen about my glasses. When I was 7, I really wanted glasses. I'm not sure if anyone remembers that age where having glasses was like the really cool thing. Like, everyone wanted glasses in my class, and so I had like, my prescription was like, I think it was like plus 0.5 or something. It it was so not bad, like it was not a bad prescription. I was like, Mom, no, I do want glasses, so I ended up getting glasses for this really minor prescription. So I started wearing glasses when I was 7, but I started wearing glasses all the time when I was 11. You became more political at uni. I don't know if this is true. I think I became more open about my political views online when I went to university. I think that's the difference. I was very scared to talk about anything political online. I've started talking about politics and social issues on Instagram, which I just did not do before. When I was at school, I'd say I was very vocal about like causes that I supported, and I did attend protests. I started petitions at school. Whenever there was a mufti day, I'd wear a top with a slogan like "Save the Sharks," which was like the one that I was really, really big on. Loads of people are asking whether, are assuming that I don't want to be in a relationship. So yeah, that is a correct assumption, but just because an assumption is correct doesn't mean that assumptions are good. I think you are a shy person. I don't know if I am shy or not. It's something I've thought about. I mean, I don't think I'm shy. I don't think I am, but then maybe I am. Like, if I'm in a social situation, I don't think I'd shy away from talking to people, and I don't, but then it depends on how I'm feeling in that particular moment. You'll do an Oxbridge Masters, and someone else has said you want to do a Masters and a PhD. I do want to do a Masters, and I would love eventually to do a PhD, but I probably wouldn't do it straight after a Masters. I'd probably go out and work for a bit before doing that. I love the prospect of dedicating that year to a project and to like an academic pursuit and one particular subject. That's something that really I love the idea of it. As for where I want to do my Masters, I am looking at places now. Like, I've got a list of maybe about 10 places that I'm considering. One of them is Cambridge. So Cambridge is on that list, but at the moment, it's not my top choice. If I were to do a PhD eventually, obviously my Masters would feed into that with what I wanted to focus on with my Masters. And so, but I don't know what I want to do my PhD on yet. Like, I'm torn between two very, very different disciplines. So where I choose to do my Masters will depend on what I decide about that, and I'm going to be choosing that university based on the archives they have. I want to have access to good archives, so that's going to be my priority when I apply, but Cambridge is on that list, but it's not my number one at the moment. Okay. You're religious? No, I'm not religious, but I very much respect the moral teachings of the world religions. You don't watch much TV. I wouldn't say I watch loads of TV. I mean, I don't watch as much as other people in my family and as friends of mine, but I do watch TV. It's not like I never watch it. I don't watch any TV Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday night I'll usually watch something with my mum and sister, and then Friday night we'll usually watch a film, and Sunday night we watch a Christmas film. So I do watch TV during the week. If I'm going to watch something in the evening by myself, it will usually be YouTube. You never have time to do absolutely nothing. I think everyone has time to do absolutely nothing if they choose to do absolutely nothing. I know people who recharge by really switching off and doing nothing, even though I don't think there's such thing as doing nothing, because you're doing something no matter what you're doing. Even if you're sleeping, you're sleeping, you're not doing nothing. Everyone has the time to relax and have self-care. You can put that into your schedule, and I definitely do put that into my schedule. But the thing that I would do to like recharge or calm down would be like doing a crossword or reading, like, or writing, something like that. So people think of it as being quote unquote productive, but actually that is like my main form of self-care, if you know what I mean. You prefer tea without milk than to tea with milk. Now that's very dependent on the tea. Like green tea, no, you don't have milk with it. But Earl Grey, you have to have super milky, and same with chai tea. You miss living with your housemate friend. I do miss Blakeney. I really miss living with Blakeney, and I can't wait to be living with her again next year. You have a few really close friends at uni rather than a large group. Absolutely. If you actually think about the friends that I have, I do not have many friends, and I'm totally okay with that. I have like 2 very close friends and then some other close friends, and I think that's totally fine. Like it's a very personal thing, I suppose. Some people prefer large groups of people, some people prefer like one-on-one, some people prefer groups of 3 or 4. Personally, I am a big fan of one-on-one friendships. I prefer that and prefer one-on-one dynamics. So most of my friends are like solitary friends, as opposed to having a group. You don't curse? No, I don't swear at all. I don't have anything against people who do swear, but just personally, I don't like to do it. You don't want to get married. I don't know. I would get married, but only if I met someone that I had fallen in love with. I don't like the idea of fixating myself on the idea of getting married and then not getting married and feeling like I failed somehow. I'd only get married if I thought that that was going to be the thing that was going to make me happiest. You prefer the countryside than big cities? Yes, I do. You fall in love easily? I don't think so, because I've never fallen in love. You've always been flexible. I think most kids are flexible. So yeah, I was always flexible as a child. I did gymnastics from the age of 3, and then I just kind of kept up with stretching from then on, from when I quit gymnastics. So I've always been flexible, but that's only because I worked at being flexible. You would never wake up at 1 or 2 p.m. I've never woken up that late. The latest I've ever woken up is 11 a.m. When I was about 11, I used to sleep in quite a lot. You feel insecure about your future. I think most people in their late teens, early 20s feel insecure about their future. I think just the job market at the moment is so unstable. Everything is very uncertain because of COVID especially. I have no idea what I want to do in my future. I have no idea, and that is making me feel quite nervous. You didn't always like studying. This depends on what you mean by studying. If you mean it in the context of revising, no, I didn't always like studying. I thought it was really meaningless, and to be fair, I didn't like really doing my homework either. I mentioned this before in the assumptions video last year, but I sometimes found that the pace of classes in primary school was quite slow, and so I didn't love school as much. But I've always loved to learn. Always loved to learn. Never waste a day by binging on Netflix. There is no such thing as wasting a day. If you enjoyed that day binging Netflix, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like to think I've got like a really good attention span, but I've got a really bad attention span when it comes to watching TV. Like, I find it hard to watch a whole film, like sit down and watch a whole film. So I couldn't watch TV for a whole day just because I don't have the attention span for it. I'd have to do something else. You would never wear heavy makeup. I did once dress up as Russell Brand for Halloween, and I had to wear very heavy eyeliner for that. All of your friends are into books, studying, or letter writing. No, they definitely are not. You sometimes feel like you should not have acted like Hermione, even though you like Hermione. I would say this is partially true. It's a hard one to separate though, because I was a big fan of Hermione Granger. The reason I became a big fan of Hermione Granger is because I really related to her. I felt like I acted in a very similar way to her anyway, and it was really refreshing for me to see a character who was very similar to me. Like, I really liked that. I think that's one of the beauties of being online. When you're online, you get to connect with people that are similar to you, and there's something quite comforting in that. I really want to stress, like, I acted like Hermione when I was younger, but it wasn't a case of like trying to mirror her in every capacity. I don't think my relationship with Hermione as when I was younger was a really clear mirroring of like I want to be like her. It was that I was quite similar to her as a character anyway. You find it easy to keep up with everything. So I don't find it easy to keep up with everything. I do a lot of work. I know I put a lot of work in, but I never get as much done as I want to get done. There's the thing about university, which I find, like this year especially, is that there's so much I want to learn, and the more you learn, the more you realise that you want to learn, and the more you realise you want to read, and the more you want to research. And you grew up wearing mini Bowden. Yes, I did. Oh my gosh, my parents dressed my sister and I in the most clashing colours. So thank you so much for watching this video. I did not answer all of these questions at all, but I hope that you enjoyed watching, and I hope that you have a productive week.